here's Brody Brazil.
You know, it kind of feels like most of the videos I do here on YouTube are normally reacting to news or information or something that's just happened. And I also like to add some personal insights and perspectives to go along with these stories, but this time around, I'll be honest. This is mostly pure speculation, but it's also a very educated guess. I've been putting the pieces together, I've been talking to people, I've been figuring this out. It is my prediction that the NBA is not going to expand in 2025, but next year in the first couple months of the calendar year, they're going to announce expansion in two cities. There they are, Seattle on the left and Las Vegas on the right. And it might take a couple years, but this is where the NBA is going next, and they will officially announce it in just a handful of months. Let me first start with the background on expansion or lack thereof in the NBA. The league has been at 30 teams for the last 20 years. And although several teams have moved, like from Vancouver to Memphis and Charlotte and New Orleans and Oklahoma City, Seattle to Oklahoma City, there's been a lot of movement across the last 2 decades, but the league has not actually added a brand new team. And you also look at other leagues out there like the NHL. They recently went to 32. The NFL's been at 32 for a bit. Baseball and basketball are still at 30 teams, and every league is different. It's a little bit of apples and oranges here. But I think they've all realized that 30 works, and in large part, 32 also works. The league would largely benefit from this. It's been a while since they've expanded. The last expansion fees were nowhere near anywhere between $2.5 and $7 billion per team for an expansion fee. Let me state that again. Here's what the NBA stands to gain in all of this, like its existing teams. They'll get a piece of anywhere between $2.5 billion and $7 billion for an expansion fee. We don't know what that number is going to be. Obviously, that would be the biggest part of negotiation and an expansion fee. But my goodness, the $7 billion expansion fee, that seems like it's on the high end, but it also doesn't seem like it's totally impossible. So here are my predictions. The NBA will go to 32 teams. I think this could be announced as soon as the All-Star break in February of 2025. The Golden State Warriors here in San Francisco are hosting this year's and this season's All-Star game. I feel like these next couple of months, this will get addressed. This will get sorted out. The league, in a lot of ways, is ready to move on. They've got a lot of the pieces in order, and they will announce Seattle and Las Vegas to be added by 2028. Now, I'll get to the reasons why in a second, but Seattle's already got an arena. Las Vegas technically already has an arena too at T-Mobile Arena where the Golden Knights play, but they're trying to build, the Oakview Group is trying to build a totally separate project just for basketball on the north side of the Strip, right next to the Stratosphere at Rio Hotel. So that will be announced, again, I think, in 2025 for these teams to be ready by 2028. I also want to state that I realize the domino effect in all of this. You can't just add teams without realigning the league. It's my belief that Memphis and New Orleans would be realigned from the Western Conference to the Eastern Conference. And if you look at a map, that's kind of probably the way it always should have been for balance. So here are my reasonings behind this and why I'm predicting and kind of feeling like this is going to be the case. You've got that ready-to-go arena in Seattle. Plus, I think in the last decade alone, you've started to feel the NBA realize they have a chance to make a wrong into a right. And rest in peace, former Commissioner David Stern. Even he said while he was still alive that leaving Seattle, going to Oklahoma City, allowing that to happen was a mistake. And now Adam Silver, as the NBA's commissioner, he can't come out and just say this, like we're going to go back to Seattle. But read between the lines, look at the body language. It seems like Seattle, and going back there and making good on Sonics fans. They've kept the name and the branding, and all of that's easy. It's so turnkey. The arena's ready. The arena's fixed up. It's world class. It's in a great location. Seattle is ready to do this the right way, as they never should have had taken away from them. Now in Las Vegas, you've got a couple interesting things because they could take an NBA team right now at T-Mobile Arena, but you've got the Oakview Group moving forward on what I think is about their second or maybe even third potential site. It's 22 acres right at the Rio Hotel. This has been reported on by Vital Vegas on X and Twitter. You can check out Scott's work also at casino.org. Basically, the Oakview Group has found this location to build an arena. They're ready to do this just for basketball. They've got tons of money. They'll pay the expansion fee. They'll do this all privately. There's really nothing stopping this so long as they get a chance to be a candidate for expansion. The NBA is coming off a recent CBA with the Players Association, so they're set right now for that for a couple years. They also just squared away this past July a brand new 11-year media rights deal worth $76 billion. It's going to take them into the mid-2030s. So usually when the CBA is done and the media rights deal is done, now you look forward to a way to grow your brand, grow your league, expand by 2 teams, capture some of those expansion fees, and move forward. And that's exactly why I think the NBA is not going to take long to take care of this. There are some complications, obviously. Nothing comes easy. What about the expansion draft process and protecting players on certain teams? It might need some revisiting. The NBA number 1 hasn't done this in a while. The NBA number 2 is no longer charging like $50 million for an expansion fee. We're up in the several billion dollars. So teams like the Golden Knights or the Seattle Kraken of the NHL, they're going to want a more optimal entrance and opportunity to joining the league with an expansion draft. They're going to want to have a better team to start than maybe how it used to be back in the day. There's also the instance here that all the league income is going to be split now, not just in 30 different ways, but by 32 different ways. So they'll have to factor in, the expansion fee and the way the money gets funneled a little bit differently. I also think the schedule would be a little bit of a complication. You still have an 82-game schedule format, I think. I don't think you add games to that. I definitely don't think you subtract games from that. But now in recent times, the NBA has added the in-season tournament, now called the NBA Cup. There's some other format considerations, travel considerations, but I do think the schedule, not only will there be realignment of 2 teams, like I said, Memphis and New Orleans, I think, are going out east, but I think realignment also goes with a schedule format change that might be a certain small complication, but nothing the NBA can't work itself through. So, expansion announced in 2025, I feel like that's a pretty good chance. If not 25, maybe the fall of 25, maybe early 26 at the latest. But I do think they want to get on this sooner than later. And I do think they want Seattle and Las Vegas hosting NBA games by the 2028-2029 season. You've made it here to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. That greatly helps me and this video and this channel. And hey, let me know what you think. Am I right about this? Am I wrong about this? Is the timing making sense to you as well? Let me know in the comments section down below. And also while you're down there, make sure you've already hit that subscribe button. That way I can definitely see you back here next time.